Hi guys, I'll be sharing a family secret recipe with you on how to make your fluffy donuts. This recipe has spanned over 15 years and I can't wait for you to watch this. So guys, you're going to be putting in your butter. I'm going to show you the measurements of the butter in this video. It's about 250-gram butter, but I didn't use everything. I left about a little, so I could say use about 200-gram of butter and then 1 cup of sugar. You're going to whisk this using a hand mixer, otherwise you're going to use your spoon or your whisker. Now guys, one thing you should notice, you're going to whisk it until you can't hear the granules or feel the granules of the sugar. Then afterwards, you're going to put in 1 egg and you're also going to whisk it. You can see the color has changed, and that's because it is well mixed. You want to get this particular shade of color when you're making your donuts. Next, you pour in your warm water and then you put in your flour. This is about 4 cups of flour, and then you're going to ensure that this flour is also sieved. You don't want rocks or solids in your flour. And next, you're going to put in your yeast. I used 2 tablespoons of instant yeast. This one does not need to be proved, and that's why I put it directly into the flour. You're going to mix this thoroughly, and then you're going to flour your board and knead your dough. Guys, about kneading this dough, you need to knead it until it is elastic. You need it to be really kneaded. You can knead it for about 30 to 40 minutes, but if you have a kneading machine, that's perfect. It can help you knead it and you don't have to do it for that long with your hand. A perfect way to know that it is ready is when you press your dough and then it comes back up. Now I allowed this to rise for about 1 hour. One thing you should also notice, you don't want to punch out all the air from the dough. That is not good for the donuts. So you're just going to lightly pour it onto your board, and from here you're going to begin to scoop out the portions that you want to do. Now I should mention again, when you're making donuts guys, you want to ensure that the butter you use is really good. You can see that the butter I used is a baking butter, so make sure you look for such butters when you're buying yours. Now the technique in doing this particular shape for donuts is ensuring that you oil your palm or you flour your palm. That way the dough doesn't stick to your hand. And you can also do the other technique, which is to roll it over an oily surface or a smooth surface. Now if you want to put hole in your donuts, you're going to get a bottle, rub it on flour because you don't want it to stick into the dough, and then you're going to put it at the center of your donuts. Now guys, you're going to keep twisting and then you see this come out. Now let's try that again. Rub it on flour and then press it into the middle of your donuts, slightly turn it, and then you're going to see that little pop out. So that's how to put the perfect hole in your donuts. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already subscribed. Guys, please help us build our channel. Now once again, as you can see, you're going to allow this to rise. You don't want to immediately fry. Allow it to rise for at least 20 to 30 minutes. Now we're going to check on our oil. I had already put oil on fire, and when you begin to see these bubbles, it means it's ready and it's hot. You don't want it to be too hot once again, so make sure you ensure that the bubbles are not too much. Put in your dough. You can see how light my dough looks, my donuts. Now make sure that your donut is very light. That way your donut just floats in the oil, and you can see how lovely this is. You're going to keep flipping it until it is ready. Once again, ensure the oil is not too hot and it is not too cool either, because you don't want your donut to be soggy. So you can see how the bubbles are in the pan. You can see it is not so much, but yet it looks quite hot, and that's because you don't want it to be too hot, otherwise your donut will not be cooked. And if it is not so hot at all, then your donut is going to soak in some oil. So you can see it's lightly browning. I keep flipping it over and over just so I can get that even brown color. And there you go guys. Once you do this, you bring it out. I should also mention, for those who want to do this commercially, make sure that you do not, like the way I used my hand in putting it straight into the oil. Most people would rather put it on a baking sheet, cut it into squares, so that way you don't get to touch any parts of the donuts and press it in, so you can get the perfect round shape for your donuts. So guys, I'll be taking this out of the oil and putting it on the paper towel so that the excess oil can drip out. I'll be showing you the second batch, which had the holes in them. which are also fried, and you can see immediately it enters into the oil, it floats. That way you know your donut is light, is fluffy. A bad sign for donuts is when you put it into the oil and then it sinks. That means that the donut is heavy, the donut is too thick, and you won't get that perfect fluffy donuts. Once again, you can see it's browning. You're going to flip it, and I should also note you don't use little oil for donuts, you're going to use a lot of oil. So guys, take note of that. Once again guys, if you're enjoying this video, please subscribe to my channel, please guys. Thank you. Now guys, you can see that it is fully ready. We're going to take this out and you can see the final product guys. This looks so yummy, so good. You can put in your filling with jam, or my personal favorite was to sprinkle sugar over this, and then you would see it in the aftermath guys. See how fluffy it looks. It's so good guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.